Greetings, Admissionaries. This is Grant Showalter Swanson. Just wanting to send a check-in together, see how you're doing, and share a few items coming up at Garrett. Today we're going to talk about some exciting admissions events that are coming up that we want you to know about. We want to share with you about the upcoming PLUS scholarship application deadline coming up on March 1st. And to do a little bit of a deep dive into the various modalities that we are now offering at Garrett for coursework. So let's get started. To show you today how to see and learn about the upcoming events at Garrett, I want to show you, if you go to garrett.edu and click on the admissions taskbar, and come down to admissions events and click on that, this will show you all upcoming admissions related events at Garrett. It's just a really great resource. And so there's two things that I want to point out for us today. One, coming up on February 8th, which is a Wednesday, from 7 a.m. to 5 p.m., we have an event called Discover Garrett. We have done a Discover Garrett in the past. It is our visit day for students to come and experience a variety of connection points to really get a feel for Garrett. Well, this Discover Garrett visit day is going to be virtual. So there are several options of ways that students can engage throughout this day. They don't have to come to all of the events. They can select events that work for them. So what happens is if they go to register now, that takes them to the registration page where it gives a detailed summary of all of the different options. So starting with an international student informational session, a welcome from President Vieira, mock classes that students can participate in, some discussions about theological education and learning in a digital age, admissions information, a way for admitted students to get to know each other, a panel with some of our wonderful alum, some discernment conversations, as well as participating in chapel from 4 to 5. So this is just a really great way for students to get a feel for Garrett as they are discerning next steps. So if you know anyone who may be even slightly thinking about what seminary could look like or what ministry could look like for them, either ordained or lay leadership, this is a great way for students to discern and have a thoughtful space to think through those questions. So feel free to share this with anyone you may know. I'll exit out of this and go back to the events page and show you an ongoing event coming up starting in March on Thursdays. What we've decided to do is offer ongoing Thursday in-person campus visits for students who are interested in exploring Garrett and getting a feel for what it's like on campus. So you can see there are currently 5 Thursdays identified throughout March and April that students can choose for a date that works for them. What they do is you can click on the event. I'll click on March 2nd, and it takes you to that registration page where students can see a tentative proposal for what that day could look like. Once again, students do not need to sign up for the entire day because that would be 9 a.m. to 7:30 p.m. Instead, they can select events and times that work for them. So there are several options for meeting with admissions, several options for participating in a class throughout the day, as well as opportunities to meet with field education, housing, have a campus tour, meet with the innovation and lifelong learning, as well as meeting with admissions officers throughout the day. So it's just a wonderful way to get to know Garrett better and to get a feel for campus. So if you know anyone who might be interested, send them this link and we'll get them set up for their campus visit day. The next item I want to bring to your attention is our upcoming PLUS scholarships deadline. This deadline is March 1st. And what the PLUS scholarships deadline does is it guarantees that our largest end tuition scholarships are for sure available for students who apply by March 1st. So this is specifically for folks who are thinking about starting in fall 2023. If they apply before March 1st, 2023, they are guaranteed access to those higher end tuition scholarships. Now, it still remains the same that all admitted master's degree students receive between a 50 to 100% tuition scholarship. It's just that after this March 1st deadline, a lot of those larger end tuition scholarships will be handed out to students. So for the highest tuition scholarship possible, it's really in students' best interest to apply by this March 1st plus scholarship deadline. So if you know anyone who is interested in exploring, I encourage you to tell them apply before March 1st. And we no longer have any tuition fee to apply. So other than the time put into the application process itself, the application is free, simple, and easy, fully online. So let people know. And the other thing to note, if you know any students who are wanting to apply internationally, March 1st is also our international student deadline. Due to the timely and laborious process of visa acquisition, March 1st really is the latest deadline possible for ensuring international students are set up for success to get all of the paperwork and visa acquisition fully done in time to start in the fall. So March 1st, plus scholarships deadline, international student deadline, let folks know. Finally, the last thing I want to walk us through today is you've probably heard about the expanded modalities and options for students who are seeking master's degree coursework at Garrett. But there's a lot of terminology and jargon for these different modalities. And sometimes people might be rattling things off about hybrid, high flex, synchronous, asynchronous, and you're like, what are they talking about? So I actually wanted to take a few moments today to talk through what those different modalities are that we offer at Garrett, what they look like, and provide a place where you can actually access those definitions for future reference. So if you go to garrett.edu, and go to academics and click on courses. This is the most direct way to get to information about course offerings at Garrett. And there's this handy resource. If you click here on this green tab, course schedule, it actually takes you to a resource called Moodle. And you can see all of the upcoming course schedules for upcoming terms and semesters are listed. But what I actually want to draw our attention to today is this note on modalities section. This is a handy go-to definition space that explains all of the different modalities that we offer at Garrett. So I'm going to go ahead and zoom in on this section so you can see it a bit better and go over them. So classroom in person is still a strong commitment of Garrett for students who want to have access to in-person programming. That is a strong commitment that we are upholding and want to maintain. We still have all of our housing options and a commitment to high quality in-person programming. Now, all of the other options are a different variety of in-person, online, or mix. So let's start with hybrid. Hybrid is an intentional blending of in-person coursework and online coursework for individual classes. So when the syllabus is structured and the schedule is laid out, it will be clearly delineated for students what portions of the course will be done in person and what portions of the work may be done online, so that it'll be clearly laid out for that schedule. And it is intentionally designed that at least 50% of hybrid courses will be done in person. So for folks who are in denominations such as the United Methodist Church, that requires a certain amount of in-person coursework for ordination, a hybrid class will count towards that in-person coursework. Now, high flex is very similar to hybrid, but has a slight difference. HighFlex course allows students to choose in-person or online coursework. So what that means is, whereas the hybrid has the structure in the syllabus itself and the schedule itself of what will be in person and what will be online, HighFlex courses give students the option to choose how they want to engage in person or online. So for a course, you might have some students in a classroom, while you have other students online on Zoom, all engaging together through our various modes of technology. If students attend at least 50% of this course in person, then it can count towards the in-person denominational requirements. But if students attend more than 50% of this course online, it will not count. So very similar to hybrid, just has more student choice for engagement. Now, our next three options are all online. So all three of these options are fully online. They do not have an in-person component. I'll point to the first and the third first. The third option is fully online synchronous. So that means that when you get your schedule, it'll be a certain date, a certain time, and you are all just getting on Zoom or Teams together at the same time, same date for that class. Synchronous is the exact opposite. Everyone is engaging online, but at different times. So there is not a set date or time that students are accessing a Teams or Zoom link. Instead, people are engaging with pre-recorded lectures or online discussion boards. So this one is really accessible for folks, particularly in different time zones, to be able, or who are working significantly, to be able to engage at their own pace. And then the second option here, the mix of synchronous and asynchronous, is just like it says. There are some meeting times that will be clearly displayed on the syllabus and schedule that will be certain dates and times that everyone gets on Teams or Zooms together. But then there will also be some classroom components that are asynchronous, that happen not at